Hello and welcome to episode 12. Raising multiples in the early days isn't just about managing schedules and sleepless nights. It's about navigating marriage, maintaining perspective, and giving grace even through chaos. In this episode of Ordinary Heroes Better in 20, parents of twins and triplets share how they stay connected as a couple, support each other, and create balance while raising a big family. From practical strategies for daily life to lessons in patience, communications, and celebrating the small wins, this episode offers encouragement and insight for anyone juggling the joys and challenges of multiples. I hope you find this video helpful. Okay, so the last question of today is about marriage. When we first learned that we were having triplets, I'm like, okay, I'm going from 3 to 6, just like this. And so, of course, in my research mode, I call a friend who has 10. And I say, hey, man, who can I talk to just to give me some peace? Because I've never, I was happy with my minivan, I was like, I like this minivan, but I can't do minivans anymore. I have 6 kids, 8 total. So I need some tips from people who have 6 or more, tell me about it. So he told me, let me think. Oh, yeah, he's divorced. Oh, yeah, they're not there anymore. And we had to think, because the reality is a lot of marriages break because it is so hard. So you all are here together, and so what secrets can you give our people to stay married, to thrive through these times of hardness? Who can start?
You guys want to start with the couple over there?
Yeah, let's start the couple.
Well, I think Megan's probably better to answer this than me, but she's created time for us. So she's scheduled people to come, like the community, come and help us watch the kids so we can go out to dinner. And some of that is, hey, we need to go out to dinner to plan and strategize, but I think we kind of probably grow closer as we plan and strategize for how do we deal with all these kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think lately, at the end of every night, we've kind of been recapping and discussing the day and making sure we have a little bit of time at the end of the night to, even though it's pretty much talking about the kids and what happened and what we should do, what we shouldn't do and everything. I feel like that's important. So we're on the same page, know what's going on, and communication.
How do we not yell at the kids?
It's the main topic.
But when you do that one, seriously, tell us the test.
We were blessed recently. A couple said, hey, we want to take your kids so that you can go on a weekend.
All 6 of them.
Yeah, incredible. There are those people out there. We went out on a weekend, and sometimes it gives you peace to have an idea. I'm with you, Dave. But in our case, we did nothing. We ate popcorn.
We kept intending to strategize, but it was so nice to just do nothing. But when we're in the groove, we do spend a lot of time strategizing because you have to, and that is uniting.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you have to, it's hard, I think, sometimes to empathize for the other person, at least myself, in my postpartumness, which we didn't talk about yet, but it's easy for me to think I'm alone in this, and I think that's the hardest, is when we don't connect, and I go and I try to do it alone, and that's when I get frustrated and I start thinking, well, he hasn't been through this, his body didn't do that, my body has been doing this for the last year and a half, I haven't slept, and I'm providing milk, and I start kind of stacking my cards against him, and I forget to look at him and see that he's also experiencing the same thing I am in a different way. And so when we connect, I think even sometimes as simple as giving a hug at the end of the night, a meaningful hug, you think, okay, I'm not in this alone, we can do this together.
Corey, you and your wife, any tips as two sets of twins?
It's been tough at times. I mean, you always start out with great intentions and just being able to, we're going to get out once a month together. There's a couple things just yearly that we always make sure we get out for a weekend, and we have someone that can watch our kids and, connect there. Probably need to be more intentional about it, but, we're not perfect, and you don't have to be, but it's being understanding of each other at a time.
Well, I think that the awareness is key, because, in this bed and breakfast that we were in, I learned that the host was a counselor. So of course I'm like, hey, we are in a rush to connect. So tell me, how do you connect now? Because we have really 12 hours before we have to go back. And he says, well, what have you been doing? And I said, well, we went out to dinner yesterday. We watched a movie. We ate popcorn. We sat by the fire. We did this. And he said, well, you don't realize it, but you've been connecting. Just being together. Like Richard said, sometimes we're going through this tough thing, but knowing that we are together and being there and the I see you moment. Yeah. I see you.
And I think, like when the babies are little, like I don't know if I can speak for you guys, but for me, like when you're being touched all day and wanted all day by your kids. So like as husbands, like I know that is like, you guys have a different need in different ways, so I think the physical touch isn't as like needed as it is for a guy, and just having that understanding. But I think in that season, like, having that face-to-face couch time where you are being seen and heard, and like we crave this like connection like this more than this, hugging, but or whatever, so I think just understanding where each other are at in the season, and it's not because we don't desire you as a husband, right. It's because we've been touched all day by our kids, and that's a beautiful thing. But I think creating space, to be seen and heard, and have this like face-to-face time, so they're hearing you and you're feeling heard and seen. Right. I don't know if that's helpful, but that's just like kind of just being able to communicate that to each other, and then creating space for intimate times and stuff. But I think that's like a huge thing, because I think in marriages, that's a need. Absolutely. It's not always talked about.
And even realizing, like, when I was pregnant with the third pregnancy, he knew I was stressed out and needed some time, so he would take the kids every night on the bike and like let me have a little bit of downtime, which like then would give me a breather and like help be in a better mind state to, when the kids go to bed, to talk and whatever. Or like we'll say, okay, you need a break, you go to the grocery store today. Give the other person a break to kind of regain everything.
It comes back to communication, right?
Yes.
And if you can communicate, because we can't read minds and neither can they, and so if you can just communicate what you're feeling or needing without being offended over what they say, I think that's like the key thing.
For sure. Yeah, because sometimes you assume they
you
know
just
what
assume,
you need,
and
you're like, why aren't they giving me this? Or sometimes you don't even know it yourself, but if you can actually communicate, this is what I need, it makes it so much better, because they can give it to you. You don't have to play the mind game. We don't have time for mind games.
No, that's time for that.
Yeah, the biggest thing I've learned, let's close with that. If there is one thing you can share with the world, what is your top secret sauce, secret, or counsel, whatever it is? What is your one-liner that you would tell a parent of triplets, twins? I can start since I opened that up. So perspective to me is very critical. When we had twins, I went through a really tough spot where I even went to counseling, because I was just angry that my life wasn't what it was. I had time before. I'm a biker, so I used to go biking. I used to have time to do things. Now I didn't, and so I had to accept that life was different, and it was going to be different for a while. And so having the perspective to say, this is life, be in it, don't think of the past, don't think of what you want to do, just be. And to me that has been very helpful. So I would say to parents of multiples to just accept perspective and go from there. Let go of the past, let go of the future, just be.
I guess for me it would be just give yourself grace upon grace, and grace upon grace.
For me, it would be just day by day is where you gotta live, which is probably just piggybacking off of you, but you think about it like the pattern of a day, right? There's a reason why we have a start and an ending to a day, and I think that there is wisdom in just realizing that, God's mercies are new every morning. Mm-hmm. They start over. You don't have to think about, like you said, what happened yesterday. You have a new chance today to start over, and you don't have to think about the worries of tomorrow, because they will take care of themselves. When we were pregnant with our first child, somebody gave us advice, and they said, just do right by your kid today. And that's something that stuck with me because I thought that you have all this mom guilt, like we've talked about. You have all of these expectations of yourself and expectations of others and all of these things. And yet, if you can just boil it down to, you know what, today, in this moment, if I can do right by my kids, I can do right by my husband, that's it. Like, you'll get another chance tomorrow to do that as well.
For me, it's been, it's live in the moment. You can get ahead thinking that you want to do these 5 things. At some point, you have to realize you're not going to be able to do that.
Yes.
Much like you, I enjoyed cycling, and sometimes that's 3 hours where you would disappear. I can't do that anymore.
Right.
So you just find different ways to do things, and and that is just being more patient, really.
Yes.
I find, the second you lose your patience, everything gets worse, and it's usually because you're looking ahead, stressing about something else.
You're not in the moment. Absolutely right. Yes.
Yeah, I think we might have touched on this a little bit already, but I think keeping an open mind and just not, it comes down to like couples, right? So like if I've been able to work from home, I've been fortunate enough to work from home for a lot of the time, and I can hear when she's having a bad day, right? So the kids are screaming, baby's crying, like I know I need to step in and do something. So it's like I'm already kind of in tune because I can hear that happening. But like if you're going away to work and you don't get to hear that, you don't get to hear the kind of day she's had, like not knowing, and when, like you said earlier, stacking cards, like, hey, I do this, you do that. You really need to stay away from that mentality and just keep an open mind to like, hey, she might have had a bad day, I need to like be there.
Absolutely.
So I think that's really important. And I'd say the second thing is the kids, they need to be stimulated constantly. So there's a level of preparedness, like you really just need to figure out the activities for the day. And the more activities you can have, especially if you have a lot of kids in the house, it's a night and day difference. They get stimulated, their brains work, and they want to go to bed at night a lot easier. Everything is easy. But if you don't have those things planned and you're just kind of with them, they get bored. They get a little bit uneasy, and they might start fighting, all that kind of stuff in that series. But yeah,
Megan, what's your secret sauce?
I think that the biggest takeaway I would say is that no matter how hard it gets, it is so worth it, because having multiples is honestly the best, and watching that bond has been so fun. Our boys are 4 now, and just seeing them like laugh together and giggle and hug and all of that, just remember that having the built-in best friend, and it's been amazing.
Love multiplies.
Yes.
Multiplies.
And it's so hard, but it's so worth it.
It's so worth it.
Yeah. And I have to bring myself back to that sometimes.
Yes.
It's
You
so
have to.
true. You can get caught up in how hard
Yes.
it is that you overlook.
Yes.
It is such a huge blessing.
And it's like when we do our little recaps at the end of the night, it's like, why did I get so mad that whatever little thing happened? And it's like you think about the bigger picture, and kind of puts everything in perspective.
This is the end of episode 12. As we wrap up the series, More Than One Miracle, remember, the life with multiples isn't about perfection. It's about perspective, overcoming assumptions, keeping an open mind, and truly communicating with your partner can transform even the hardest days. Give each other grace. Take life one day at a time and focus on doing right by your kids in that moment. And above all, never forget that love multiplies. The bonds, the laughter, and the joy you create together grow exponentially. Your efforts matter, your patience matters, and the love you pour into your family is a gift that keeps expanding. Keep going, keep connecting, and keep cherishing the little moments that are the heart of this incredible journey. A big thanks to the parents that supported me in making this panel. Your friendship means a lot, and I'm excited to hear how we bless other parents. I hope you have been blessed. I'll see you in the next one.